Well, greetings, world, and greetings, Seven Spot. It's Seven Spot Jim, and I'm here today with NOTUS John and a host of friends. And are you ready for some giggles? We're trying something different. This is going to be the first attempt at a regular weekly show. So have a good time and leave us a comment in the doobly-doo down below as to whether you like it, don't like it, or got some comments, something you'd like to see, or if you'd just like us to shut up for a while. Just But to introduce our guest host today, I'm going to introduce, of course, John Minion, which I'll bring in to the picture. Hi, John.
Hiya, evening all. It's very dark here. I've still not got a new bulb in that either. I need to get that
all right.
sorted.
It's coming. No worries. Thanks for being with us, John. And he's with the Northwest Kit Car Owners Group and joining us in as a guest host today. We are so pleased to have Duncan Cowper, famous DAX racer and just back from Pikes Peak, rather.
Pikes Peak,
How are you doing today, Duncan?
Yes, very well, thank you. No, it's been a pleasure.
Yeah, our pleasure too. We've got some plotting and scheming we're doing, and we're not going to release any facts until we've until we've got it figured.
It's all a conspiracy theory, Jim.
It totally is. And also, our feature guest today is Al from Vancouver Island. Say hi, Al.
Hi, Al.
Too quick for me. Al's going to show us his McSorley Build 7, and we're looking forward to that. But I'm going to bring myself back into the picture because on today's show, we've got some things lined up. Aside from starting out with our feature walk around with Al, we're going to follow up with some Facebook updates, and we've got some news from Harper's Sports Cars and also from Raptor Sports Cars. And then we've got a feature that we're going to start talking about some of the stuff that we've got planned in the future. And I'll just let you know that we've got a feature coming called, I don't know what it is about kit cars, but, there's companies that come and there's companies that go. So we're going to be doing an ongoing feature called Gone But Not Forgotten. And we've got some stuff to say about that. And then we've got something completely different. I completely lost my mind, guys, and we're going to be doing call-ins and call-outs. So if you've got something to say, keep it to yourself. But John, before we get started, John,
you've got Skype as well, haven't you? You've got a link to Skype.
We're getting around to that, John. Yeah. We got a number of ways you can reach us, and we got Skype for call-ins, and we're going to be reaching out and calling people using Messenger as well. But I'm going to bring John in for a moment. John, you've been busy doing some stuff yourself because you did a live stream yesterday, and could you just tell us a little bit about what you were up to?
Yeah, well, I was in Evesham, but it was our annual, what we call a Santa run out, where we've got permission from the police and so on and the council to actually park all our cars up in Chester, Chester Town Centre. We've got collection buckets, which you might see in some of the pictures, donation buckets. It's always, the people of Chester are just so generous. We park up all our cars there. And people, if they want to sit in any cars or whatever, they can make a donation. Sit in any car they want, put a donation. Generally, we normally raise. It is all for charity, charitable donations. Generally, we raise about £400 just from people of Chester, and we're only there for a few hours. It all goes to, which you can see in the pictures, it all goes to Clare House, the donations. Clare House, which is a children's hospice. Look after terminally ill children, but also give respite for parents. Year to date, we've raised about just under £31,000, about 30.8k at the last tot up. Last year we did a 8.8k. So just under 9k.
Wow.
most of that came from the members' donations. We have a hardcore site which is not free to join, and we do a lot of daft fundraising things in there. So that the actual hardcore members site raised about 7.6k. This is just last year. The buckets, we won't know how much we've raised this year. We passed them over to Clare House last night. Last year in total it raised £740, which I just blown away with that. As I say, the bulk of that came from the run out to Chester. And then we also run Kit Fest at Santa Pod, which has been going 4 years now. I think it's our 5th year. Last year that raised £529. We did spend quite a bit on advertising because it is a show that's up and coming, but it's kind of like growing exponentially at the moment. And it's completely different to anything that's out there because it is a live event. So if you want to take part, you can run the Santa Pod quarter of a mile. It's a live event, not static. Yeah. So that's kind of what we've been up to at the minute.
Okay, well, I'm looking forward to that. And you and I are plotting and scheming on some other stuff too. So we'll keep that under our hats and we'll go forward with that. Now, let's get this party started. But before we do, folks, I just want to ask you, if you like the stuff that we do, we ask one thing. Could you please just hit the subscribe button on YouTube and give us a like? It helps stimulate the algorithm, and we really appreciate it. So why don't we bring in Al? Al, thanks again for doing this.
Now,
you're not in a lounge, are you? You're in a garage.
I'm in a garage. I'm in my shop. Yeah.
Look at that. He's learned how to say it all UK style.
Yeah, well.
Not like us Saskatchewan boys who say garage.
Well, I am from Saskatchewan, so that's but I'm adaptable.
Yeah, there you go. So tell us where you're at, Al. You're in BC too, are you not?
Yeah, I'm in Victoria, British Columbia. It's a beautiful day outside. Just sitting in my shop.
Is it not cold? What's the weather like?
It's about 9 degrees, 9 degrees Celsius.
Yeah.
So it's not bad. We just came back for a nice walk and beautiful day, no rain.
Yeah. And you built a low cost, but it's a McSorley and it's a little bit different. Can you tell us a bit about that?
Yeah. I'll just hit the little button here so I can go around the other way. There we are. Get rid of that. There we are. Yeah, this is a McSorley frame. It's at what do we call it's actually a 2+2+2, which never made it onto the internet.
Mm-hmm.
And I worked with him on I got to meet him in a forum and told him what I wanted to build, and he said that he would AutoCAD a frame for me to meet the dimensions if I purchased the parts. So we started. Okay. We started building around the differential, which was a 675 Ford.
Limited slip, yeah?
No. I met too many people that had swapped ends with those. So I like to keep my training wheels on here.
I've met a few of swapped ends as well. Yeah.
Yes, yeah. Oh, no. In any case, I bought the rear end and I bought a Ford Z-Tech motor and a T5 Mustang Trans, and he was also playing around with Mustang 2 front suspension circle track adaptation. So we built it all for that. And
did you have to get an adapter plate for the Z-Tech to the T5 or?
Well, interestingly, yeah, there's a firm in Colorado called Quad for Rods, no longer in business, but they built a purpose-built bell housing that bolts the T5 right onto the Z-Tech.
Straight on, yeah. Is that five speed as well, is it?
Yeah, it's a 5-speed. Yeah. And the nice thing about the T5 is they're aluminum and they only weigh about 90 pounds.
Al, I'm just going to jump in here for a quick aside. You mentioned it's 9 degrees in Victoria, 9 degrees here in sunny Surrey as well. But apparently a Facebook user is pointing out that it's bloody cold in Telford, UK today.
Oh, God.
It's not so warm here. I'm not that far away in Evesham. I have got my heating on. Yeah, it's not great.
No, I'll just show you the plans. Let's see if they come up here. That's the set of plans that Jim did, and it's page after page after page, cut by cut by cut, with a complete materials list. I'm so indebted to him for this. But it was he called it his where is it here? Is a 2+2+2 Mark I.
Very nice. Very cool.
And basically, what we did was we shortened up the this area here. From about here to here by an inch, and then we added an inch into the footwell. Just so
you got quite a long scuttle on that as well, haven't you? The front to the bonnet, or is it just a shortened bonnet?
No, this bonnet, actually, the nose on it is a book nose. Okay.
Okay.
And it's so the whole body is 2 inches wider, tapering down to a book nose, which actually worked pretty well.
And it's hinged too, isn't it? It's hinged like a Dax was.
Yeah, I can show you that.
Like the Robin Hoods.
Yep. Get the right side here.
Beautiful job on the paint too, by the way.
Yeah, that stripe is nicely painted in, and it's all a base clear. Okay. There it is.
Very tidy. Very tidy.
That is a very tidy installation. You don't want to lift my bonnet. Well, I've got a Yamaha R1 bike engine, and there's sensors and wires all over the place, but that is very tidy.
Yeah, no, I put everything away so you couldn't see it. It's all there, but it's all hidden.
Yeah.
But it's got the 45s on it, and it's got a stainless steel exhaust exhaust manifold. But I put this heat shield on it because otherwise the bonnet would get pretty warm, and I was afraid it was going to blister the paint.
Yeah. I'm interested in the brakes. In a previous live stream we did, you mentioned that you've got the Willwood Masters there, and you've you've got the balancing rod, but you also have a distribution control that you've tucked into your tunnel, I think.
Like a brake bias front and rear, yeah?
Yeah, I've got it tucked right in here. You can just reach back and turn it. I don't know if you can even see it in there, but anyways, you can just reach back and turn it, and you can adjust your bias. I've also got a bias between the pedals, but I just didn't need it. It just wasn't necessary.
Yeah.
Once it's set up, you can just leave the pedals. Yeah.
Yeah. And the only thing, the pedal's a little bit hard on it right now, so I can actually drop a size on each one of the master cylinders, and it'll give me a little more leverage on it. But what else have I got here?
Yeah.
It's the whole front. I don't know if you can see it in there, but it's got a Honda Civic radiator, and I've shrouded the whole front end in there, so the air has nowhere to go but through the radiator.
Most people forget about that, and it just whistles around the side because air takes the path of least resistance. So unless you shroud it in, it's not going through the radiator, or not much.
Exactly. One thing I'll show you about this exhaust, I'm quite proud of it, actually. I didn't want to burn myself on the exhaust pipe there, and I didn't know how to make what I was going to do to create a heat shield. So I was looking around my shop, and I found my old aluminum snow shovel.
No kidding. Is that what that is? That's
what
brilliant.
That is. Yeah. And it's it is very solid because it's got it's already been
it's corrugated. It's beautiful.
It is, and it's all got bead rolled and whatnot. And try and do a piece like that, bead rolled on an angle like that, you can't do it.
Well, I guess, did you bead roll it? You must have bead rolled it first, I hope.
Well, no, the snow shovel was bead rolled. I think it's stamped.
Okay. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
How did you manage to cut that with it? That must have been a piece of work cutting that when it was all previously bead rolled.
Well, yeah, it was. But anyways, that worked out quite well, and it actually looks right. And what else we got going on here? I got a set of Recaro seats in it out of Porsche 914.
Mm-hmm. And what's the width in there? That's interesting.
That's 42 inches. Normally a +4 is 44.
Mm-hmm.
And a +4 is, what have I got here? I'm just looking here. it's normally +4. I think is 40. God, 48. I think. Just a minute.
I haven't measured mine, but I can tell you that I certainly don't have that kind of room. How about you, Duncan? What kind of room do you have in your decks?
We had to put one of the tillage seats, so we run the small tillage seats in there, but you are tight in there on the decks.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I've got 42 inches.
42
across.
inches,
Yeah.
yeah. I always thought Dax were one of the widest cars out there. Maybe not.
They are quite wide, but when they taper quite a lot at the back as well.
Yeah.
Right.
We can get we had to put the tillage seat in because they sort of wanted an FIA certificated seat
Approval. Yeah.
So
I'll just continue the tour a little bit. This steering wheel is actually out of a Beretta. It's a tilt steering wheel, so it tilts up and down.
Okay, cool.
You can get in easier.
I don't know of many kit cars that have got a tilt and swivel steering wheel, if I'm honest. I mean, ours hasn't.
Yeah, this one. There you go. Goes all the way down. Goes all the way up.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is cool.
Yeah. And of course, there's the windshield, which of course is that it's 3/4 inch outside diameter channel.
Mm-hmm.
And what I did was I used my router just to round the edges off on it, and it bent really easily.
Oh, nice.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you've got some very nice tools, which we will share. I'm going to add this here, folks. In the description for this live stream, I'm going to be adding all of the links that go to the different locations. But I wanted to add that we are hosting a webinar on building low costs. And Al is going to be one of the contributors. And I'm just going to say, please, if you want to sign up for the webinar, please take advantage of the link so you can join us.
Is that the 14th of Jan? That it's free to join as well, isn't it?
It's free to join, but it's not going to be for public consumption. It's going to be a learning thing. So we want folks to come in and yeah, absolutely. I'm just going to add a couple of comments. We're getting some comments coming in. Al, you'll be glad to know that the green car in the corner is getting some love. The GT6 in the background was my first car a Facebook contributor adds.
Oh, well, I got to show you something about the GT6 here. It's got
when you said you were in a garage.
No, that's not a Triumph engine, is it?
No, that is a Rover 3500.
Wow.
V8, aluminum block V8.
It's got a nice plenum there. What's that? The intake plenum. What's that connected to?
That's connected to an Edelbrock 1404 4-barrel.
Wow, nicely done.
This
we
has
did
got
one of those with Dax with a 5-litre in one of our demonstrators with a JE engine.
Oh my gosh!
I'd put that through a hedge. I'm telling you.
Somebody actually did, funny enough.
But so this one's got it's a full SD1 setup with the 5-speed, and then I put a Datsun 240Z rear end into it.
Okay, nice.
And the Datsun that can handle that power, yeah. Well, obviously,
yeah. The big thing is it doesn't lift a leg.
Yeah, well, exactly. No, this rear end that I put in 40 years ago. I've had this car for 42 years.
Wow.
So it's all pretty solid.
Wow.
Yeah, so that's that. I was going to say one thing on this Super 7. Now, you can't see the detail unless you look at it, but this is what I did for a trunk, and it's quite interesting. It's actually ABS. Flat ABS 1/8, and you can bend it with a hair. You can bend it with a hairdryer.
So that's how you did that.
Yep.
Very cool.
Yeah.
You're getting some more love here. I just wanted to say that another Facebook user is adding great build you have there. Lovely color, fantastic attention to detail, and
thanks.
another one, nice clean 7. And then
from, Patrick Thornton.
With regard to the green car, oh my God, mine was a straight 6, which I had fuel injected.
Oh, that'd be nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, this they're they got to be fast. I wouldn't say one is any faster than the other. I'd say they're about the equivalent in speed. The GT6 is just under 2,000 pounds, and it's about 200 horse. And the Super 7's about 165 horse, and it's about 1,400 pounds.
Yeah.
So they're about equivalent, I think. Yeah.
And how do just looking at your exhaust, you've not got a catalyst on that? How did you get on with emissions and registering
on the Super 7?
Yeah.
Well, in BC, it's licensed as a 1957 Lotus replica altered.
So it's like almost like what we call a historic registration. So you can get round.
Well, little things like not having to have bumpers.
Yeah.
I was wondering how that happened. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, these never had bumpers, and no bumpers, and also side pipes can be a bit problematic too.
Yeah.
Yes.
But if this is just registered as it is as a 57, and ICBC, like our insurance people, were wonderful to deal with. Safety was the major concern, obviously, as safe as you can make these things. But no, they were great, and the inspection went without a hitch, passed first time out.
Oh, I can see that. Just
you can
gorgeous.
see that from the quality of the build that was going to pass. Yeah.
Yeah. That's the best advice I could give somebody if they're worried about passing a tech, and that's just do the absolute best you can do, and then do better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was going to ask about your cycle guards and your wings. Where'd you source those from?
The nose came from a place called CMC, Champion Motor Cars in Alabama, which are now out of business, and the rear, as did the wide rear fenders from CMC, and then the front ones came from Kit Car Spares in England.
Okay, cool.
I know Kit Car Spares well.
Yeah.
They I put them on nice and tight. There's the detail on them.
Have you bonded those on? You've obviously not bolted them unless you've done something under the wing stay.
They are bolted on with lightened aluminum plates, but they got a lot of surface, and I used structural aircraft adhesive.
Oh yeah. Something like U4 or something like that. Yeah.
I can't remember. It's called Aeropoxy, and it sticks like poo to a blanket, and those things are not coming off there.
Cool.
Yeah, but everything's hidden on it. It's all dialed in. I've dialed it in with a wideband AFR, and it runs 700 RPM smooth idle.
Yeah.
All the way to 6.5. Yeah.
What ECU you running? You running an ECU?
Yeah, I run a no diz.
No diz, yeah.
Yeah, and I highly, highly recommend it. There it is, right there.
Yeah.
They're well known in the UK. A lot of people run them. Yeah.
Yeah, and they're a wonderful company. I had a spot of bother trying to figure something out on it, and they were more than helpful. And it's strictly plug and play for the Z-Tech.
I was going to say, even from their website, you can download different maps and stuff like that and tinker with them. Yeah.
I haven't messed with that because it just runs so strong as it is. It's mapped for a Z-Tech. So one thing about this engine I didn't mention, it's got a Fidanza 9-pound flywheel on it.
Oh yeah, that's right. Cool.
So it revs pretty much like a motorcycle motor.
Yeah, Jim and I do like our motorcycle engines.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah, well, you got a few more revs than I do, but I think this peaks out at about 6.5. But
that's still tidy. That is 6,500. Yeah.
Well, that's the comment that we just got from another Facebook user. That's a tidy motor.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, the nice thing about the Z-Tech is they weigh in at about 270 pounds fully dressed. So that was
quite a wide engine though compared to something like a Pinto.
Yes, it is. Yeah. Well, the hard thing is I wanted to put the carbs underneath I didn't want to cut a hole in my bonnet.
Yeah.
So that was the hard part, getting that in there, but it just makes it. You can see I got a very tight intake manifold on there that I also got from Quad for rods.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And But again, Jim designed this that way so that it would just fit.
Just
Perfect. And it literally just fits. Yeah, that's very tidy.
Now the engine mounts if you're so close to your bonnet, those must be hard. Are they hard? Is it hard mounted, or you must have some very firm bushings?
I don't know if you can see them. Well, you can't really see them in there, but it comes down in basically comes down into a wedge. To rubber mounts that are in a wedge. So when the motor goes down, it's not going anywhere, but it's still rubber mounted.
It's still got a little bit of yeah.
But again, the bonnet, the 2 inches that we've got on the frame to make it higher, that took care of the bonnet. One thing that I did, I don't know if I can. When we did this, of course, I used a book nose, and I'll just close this up. We did a book nose, and but it left a little 2 inches down at the bottom of the frame. So I made up a little spoiler.
Oh, that's cool.
And that covers up the frame that sits lower than the nose.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, got you.
Yeah. But no, it's been a ton of fun.
And how many miles have you put on it? Well, let's put it this way. When did you start the project and when did you finish it?
I started it in 2004 when we started doing the plans, and I finished it in 2001. And I've been working all the bugs out of it. I've only got about 1,500 kilometers on it right now.
Yeah.
But all the bugs are out of it. And part of it is that I've got my GT6 to drive, and I've also got a 69 TR6 that's pretty much brand new that I like to put miles on too. So
yeah,
you got a
TR6s are fabulous, but they've got they got their own rear end situation. I had one, and it just was a bugger to get. Back in the day, it was a bugger to fix.
Yeah. Well, I took when I built the car, I took it out and I sent it down to a proper shop, and I had them rebuild it from start to finish.
So it doesn't bottom out on you.
Oh, not at all. No. It's
cool.
Yeah.
You got a high level brake light on the rear roll bar as well, haven't you? Have you the wirings inside the roll bar?
That's right. Yeah. It just comes down in the inside. Yeah. And one thing I don't know if these fenders. I don't know if you look really hard on them, you'll see that the right is on the left and the left is on the right. And what the difference between these fenders was, I'll show you. This is fairly flat across the bottom, which is what I wanted.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
on the front, it's more rounded.
The front is more cut
Angled.
up like that.
Yeah.
And normally they're supposed to be mounted the other way around. Supposedly, I guess, but I wanted my exhaust to miss it here, not burn a big hole in it.
Yeah.
So I changed them around, and having done that, this would have normally fit right on there, but I had to make up a little wedge to make it.
Because of the curvature of the arch, yeah.
That's right. Yeah.
Which would have been the front, yeah.
Yeah. But I'm glad I did it because it just has a better look for me anyway.
Yeah. I think so. Yeah.
So cool, Al. Thank you so much.
Oh, you're welcome. Oh, the one thing too, you can see the 2 inches in the height of the frame in here. That's the area there that becomes apparent.
Yeah.
I was going to say houses. Yeah, I've got an MK, and ours is nowhere near as tall as that.
Yeah. But that's a standard 2 inches that McSorley puts into them. So.
Yeah.
It's a nice look.
Yeah, and but that's it. That's the toy.
Well,
brilliant.
Let me just say thank you so much. I'm going to bring myself back into the picture, and I'm looking forward to our webinar, doing that with you, and also plotting and scheming with you on anything else that you can come up with.
Be careful what you ask for.
Yeah, no, I'm ready. I'm diabolical, and plotting and scheming is what I do. So there you go. So why don't we dive into some Facebook updates? Looks like just going to have to bear with me, folks. This is technology, and it's difficult for an old bugger like me. But what we've got here that I would like to bring forward is to let you know that it's going to be a blue Christmas. And that's because
This is Craig Harper. Craig
Craig Harper of Harper Cars is introducing, as you can see there, their mega snake is what they call it. And just that you should know, if you're interested in buying a mega snake, in terms of South African Rand, you can get their Type 6, which is an amazing car, for 399,000 rands, which works out in Canadian to $28,950. And their Mega Snake is available for 499,000 rand, which is 36,200 Canadian dollars. So in the big scale of things for a snake, that's pretty reasonable, and it's just an amazing situation. So if you're interested in following that up, in the links that I'm going to post are the links to Craig Harper individually, and also to Harper Sports Cars Facebook page. Have a look. Moving right along.
Definitely do have a look at Harper Sports Cars, because he's into his racing as well.
Oh my God!
Yeah,
yeah,
phenomenal cars. Yeah, do have a look.
Yeah, absolutely. So we'll just bump out of that one and moving right along to the next screen, and we are going to take a quick look at this. A congratulations note to Raptor Sports Cars, because they have, for the, I think is it the third year in a row, John? Yeah, the third year running. They've run a multi-award Scotland. Yeah, for their sevens, their Raptors. Now, this gentleman right here is Andrew Entwistle, and as you can see, with his wife Kirsten. He's a tall lad, and he made sure that when he developed his Raptors, he can stretch out in them. I've got a picture of him trying to get into a Caterham. It's hilarious, but beyond belief. But,
they're based up in Scotland. They've been going for many, many years. Mainly running the 1.6 EcoBoost they're running. And I know of several that they put on meth injection as well. And they get some. Yeah. There are a few tweaks you can do to get the restrictions off the engine, but they're getting serious horsepower out of them.
Yeah. Now we're plotting and scheming with Andrew to do a little bit of stuff with 7-Spot, and I know that John's going to be in touch with him shortly. Because they've got some interesting cars. It's a combination of car engines and bike engines, so
the whole mix.
You have to stay tuned for that.
Yeah, and Z-Tex and what have you. But yeah.
And moving along, as he stumbles through his notes, we've got, as I said, we've got some stuff coming on 7-Spot that's our own, and we want to go and have a look at a preview, a prequel, if you will, to what we're going to be doing with the Gone But Not Forgotten. So here you go. Here's a little bit of a... Hi, guys. This is just a quickie to let you know about a new segment that we're going to be introducing. It's going to be about all those kit car manufacturers who are no longer with us. Gone, but not forgotten. Well, I know this is going to be a bit of a tease because I'm not telling you much about the manufacturer, but we found some excellent cars.
I recognise that. I'm not going to say who it is, but I recognise that.
But like everything we do at 7-Spot, when we go looking for these things, it's a tumble down a rabbit hole. We get to meet some very cool people and get to see some of their distractions. But on the way, we find some awesome cars. So that's what this is what we're up to. And shut that off. Sorry about that, guys.
And Duncan, coming back to DAX, am I right in thinking that's now part of XES?
Well,
the DAX Rush.
No, the Rush got sold to a place called Man Motorsport up in Leeds, and I believe they've gone out of business now. So all the original molds and jigs and everything actually went to Man Motorsport.
Okay.
And then I think John Cox, I think bought the DAX Cobra.
Oh, is that right? Eh?
Yeah. XCS was started up by Gary and Peter Walker, Gary Sanders, who we all used to work at DAX, for many years.
Very cool.
Because Jim and I have been fascinated by XES and their 1,000 horsepower Honda engine that they're going to put in.
And with the camber compensation anti-roll suspension front and rear.
Front and rear, yeah.
It's going to be nuts, completely nuts.
The engine, the engine's is it 4-pop racing in the States? The engine's coming from, I think it was. Yeah. And he has he has hinted as well in a couple of interviews that we've done with him that they've got some big what he calls big builds coming up, and we're talking Cobras with ridiculous engines in, which will be coming fairly shortly.
Yeah, and four-wheel drive Cobras too, and stretched out Cobras so you can actually fit in them.
Yeah.
I'll say we played around with the four-wheel drive, the Rush, many years ago.
That was one of the first ones out there as well, wasn't it? First four-wheel drive kit cars.
Yeah, I think Tiger and Chris Allison did a twin-engined.
Yeah.
Did some variations. I mean,
I've seen the twin-engine bike engine. That was mental.
Yeah. I mean, back when we first did mine, I think when was that, about 96, I think we took the 0 to 100 and stock world record with that.
Yeah.
I think we did 11:02 seconds on road tyres back then.
Wow.
So,
Wow.
It was a pretty quick, but it was 770 kilos. So as soon as you got to 100 mile an hour, the four-wheel drive system just drags so much power that you need. I mean, we was running just over 500 horsepower back then with my Cosworth engine car.
Wow.
But it could have done with probably another 100 horsepower to make it. It was a quick.
That wasn't a stock Cosy engine at that, was it?
No, it was all studied. Mount tune ported head, 7.2 compression, T35 hybrid turbo, running 2.1 bar, grey injectors, and on a Pectel ECU back then.
Yeah. I won't ask about the miles per gallon because that is absolutely irrelevant.
It's a totally irrelevant question for a sevens forum. Totally irrelevant question, guys. I'm going to jump in because I'm going to introduce the new feature, guys. It's the call-ins, but the first call-in is actually going to be a call-out. So I'm going to I'm going to see if this works. We're going to try to call in Jose Windle. Yeah, let's give him a shout. See if this works.
Let's see if he's back from Cumbria yet. It's Spain that he's in, isn't it? Is it Spain?
I'm going to cancel that. I beg your pardon? Yeah, he's in. He is in. I believe he's in Portugal.
Was it Portugal?
Yeah, hang on a sec.
I know he managed to get out of Cumbria in the UK just before the snow fell and everyone got snowed in.
Let's just see if we can draw in Jose. This is all new technology, and as you can tell, I'm green as grass. But we'll see if we can do something new and different. Jose, pick up the phone. Jose.
Just try him again in a bit.
Yeah. Well, that worked well. So I'm going to drop that out of this, and we're going to go into a different mode. I'm going to go into Messenger, and I'm going to do a Facebook call to Jeff Lee. And a sec. It looks like we've got Jose on the phone. Hang on, Jose. I got to bring you in. One moment. You've been hiding. No problem. Well, it looks like I am going to be calling Jose once more. Here we go. And
give me a couple of seconds to pick up the phone.
Hello, Jose.
Hello.
Hi, Jose.
How you doing?
I was not too bad.
Do you want to put your phone landscape?
Am I live on the show?
You are live on the show.
Do you want to put your phone?
Can everybody hear, Jose? This is the biggest thing. John and I have been struggling with this because the technology curve is very steep for people who are 74.
Oh, it's immense.
Jose does not look that old.
How are things?
I'm the 74-year-old. Jose, while we've got you, I can't take your. I'm getting called by Jeff Lee right now. He wants to get in, but Jeff. As you're listening, hang on a sec. We'll get to you. Jose, can I just say thanks so much for submitting? I'm going to cancel it, Jeff. Submitting your video, your new latest YouTube on the Portuguese Goodwood revival. Can you tell us a bit about part 1 and part 2, which is yet to come?
It's
a brilliant
sort of
video.
The biggest classic car event in the Algarve in the south of Portugal. There is another one in the north, which is called the Caramulo Festival, which is a big deal as well. But I consider this one, because it's a racetrack, it's the bigger one. But probably more people attended the Caramulo this year than the one down south. But it's closer to me, so it's my preferred.
I got to say that I really enjoyed it. I mean, it was, aside from all the amazing cars that you let us see, it was really great to get a personal touch of your drive up there with your dad.
Oh yeah, there was a good variety this year. We were quite lucky because the F1 cars for a few years didn't come, which sort of spoilt a bit the festival a little bit. Then COVID came, and we weren't allowed in, basically. So this year because there's certain types of tickets for the paddock area, and the ones that we go for allows us to take one classic car.
Very cool.
This, they very kindly just randomly gave me a second pass, which I was like, "Are you sure? This is because I don't want to take advantage, but yeah, bring another classic." So we had to go back home.
Mm-hmm.
So I drove Dad back to the house, and we picked up the Pilgrim, which was the cleanest and the oldest. And we drove back. That's why it sort of appeared randomly in the video.
Okay, and I got a dumb question for you. Now, part 1 has been released. When is part 2 going to be released?
I'm still doing it. I pretty much plonked all the videos in regards that day onto the editor, but I've yet to actually start it. Today was sort of a day off. Picking up moss for the nativity set.
There you go. It's that mad time of year. I've always said that Christmas for me is it's just so mad, and I just feel like it's that period of time where time becomes elastic, and it's like a black hole. You get spit out on the other side of the new year, numb and cold and very compressed. So,
is it cold in Colombia today?
Yeah.
Or not?
So anyway, I'm just going to say this is a quick reach out, but we want to say thanks so much. I want to say to you, Jose, thank you so much for being a contributor to the shows, and I'm looking forward to doing more of this with you. And I think I mentioned that StreamYard is now introducing the ability to stream to Instagram. I'm going to have to find out more about how that works, because I know that you are much more involved on the Instagram side than you are on the YouTube side. Well,
I'm trying to do the opposite. I want more YouTube.
Oh, don't we all?
I did it the wrong way around, but I just didn't have faith in my content. That's why I started off with Instagram.
Yeah.
But I kind of regret, I should have done it the other way around. But anyways, it's how it goes. But yeah, part 2 will be coming soon, hopefully next Sunday, or maybe in the middle of next week if I'm not dead. And hopefully we've got a new series that involves the Pilgrim. That's all I'm going to say. There's a big job.
Well, you can drop little tidbits and hints on 7 Spot and keep us all teased.
Will do.
If you need, yeah.
All right. I'm going to wish you a very happy Christmas.
To you too. Happy Christmas to everybody, and thank you again for inviting me.
All right. Cheers, and we're getting on to the next call. I never thought that this phone-in thing was going to actually be a thing, but it is. Thanks so much, and we'll talk to you soon.
Cheers. Bye.
Cheers, guys.
Thanks, Jose.
Cheers.
Well, that was fabulous. I have to tell you the truth, guys. I had no idea that this was actually going to be a thing. But seeing as it is a thing, I am going to call in Jeff Lee.
Remind me, who is
Jeff Lee?
Where is Jeff Lee?
Hello, Jeff. Hang on a sec. Guys, can you hear Jeff?
Nope.
No.
Not yet. No. Okay, we're going to just stick with us, Jeff. It's the technology thing. And where do I find?
You want to try macking a car on top of Pikes Peak off a hotspot off the phone?
Right. There we go. Jeff, how are you today?
I'm fine, Jim. I'm fine. How are you?
I'm doing great. Guys, are you hearing Jeff all right now?
Yep.
Yeah.
Loud and clear.
Loud and clear. This is fabulous. I'm figuring it out. I'm so proud. Listen, Jeff, I just called you up this morning. I sent you actually, I just wanted to send you a Christmas blessing. And you told me that you're out with your Spider and delivering Christmas cards.
Yeah, red car. I had my red coat on, all in the Christmas spirit. And with the price of postage these days, Jim, in the UK, it pays you to take all your local cards out. So I either go in the car or go on my mountain bike.
Well, there you go.
Where are you based in the UK? Because the weather's been okay down here. It was fine in Chester yesterday.
You there, Jim?
We're here. John asked if what the weather's like up in. I think you're in the Nottingham area, are you not?
Yes, it's cold. It's been dry. It's been dry all day. So I was out clay pigeon shooting earlier.
Yeah. Now, for those people,
I've come away from the video display, Jim, because there's a delay and it's ever so confusing.
Well, that's all
so
right.
I can't hear what the other guys are saying.
I just wanted to have an audio call with you anyway, but because I do want to catch up with you in the future to do a little bit of some plotting and scheming around Spider. Now, for those people who do not know Spider, can you tell us about briefly what a Spider is? Because I think that most people don't know the association with Caterham.
Well, one of the guys actually used to work for Caterham. I can't remember whether it was Vic Price and another guy. Well, they worked for Arch Motors that used to build the Caterham chassis. And then they formed Spider Cars early 80s. And they were doing different chassis for people like Malik and one or two others. And then they came up with the idea of doing their own Lotus 7 type.
Mm-hmm.
And making it wider, quite a bit wider than a Caterham, so that more normal-sized people can fit in it. And the first ones were 1986. Mine's an 86. Mine's number 12.
Mm-hmm.
A friend of mine has number 21. There are only 23 built, if I'm correct. Wow. And we know where quite a number of them are. There's some in the States. There's a couple on the continent, in Europe. We know where probably half of them are. But I went to look at this car in about year 2000. I was looking for a car to build, and I hadn't a clue what Spider was. I'd no idea, never heard of it.
Yeah, and I had no idea until you introduced it. I just found that the picture of your car was so striking and different, and then you told me about the association with Caterham, and I thought, wow. But am I right in remembering that what got them in is they sort of priced themselves out of the market?
Well, that's the sort of popular opinion. They were an expensive thing. I mean, my car, I've got the receipts and a fair bit of the build diary stuff for my car, and it was £8,000 UK. That was in the late 80s, and that was plus the parts that you had to supply. You had to supply engine, gearbox, and one or two other parts. The Spider proprietary parts was over £8,000. It was a very expensive kit. It was more than a Caterham.
Wow.
And you're going to struggle, to try and compete with an established name like Caterham.
Yeah.
And think that people are going to spend more money.
Yeah.
On what is an unknown thing. Yeah. No matter how good it is, you're up against it.
You struggle.
Yeah.
But Jeff, I'm just going to keep this short and sweet because this was just off my sleeve, and I said I'm going to write Jeff, and there you go, and you're in. But I wanted to say thank you so much, and I'm so happy you're getting out to drive your fabulous 7, and I'm looking forward to working with you to put together a nice story, a complete story on Spider, because it's one that needs to be expanded on, and I know that we can do something good if we work together.
I was going to say, Jim, until you mentioned it, I've not heard of it. Yeah,
I mean, I'm hoping to go with the friend of mine from Nottingham that's got number 21.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, go to Spider.
Yeah.
Because I think it's 22. I put it on the forum.
Yeah.
Number 22 that had been sat in a lockup for years and has gone back to Spider.
Yeah.
And they're going to totally rebuild it as a heritage build.
I think that
and we're going to get
totally a top-notch idea.
Yeah, and if I can do some video there, then I'll send it to you, and we'll see if we can put something together.
Sounds outstanding.
Wow.
Have yourself a very good Christmas, Jeff, and thanks so much for tuning in.
Thank you, Jim. It's a pleasure. Merry Christmas, everyone.
All right, cheers for now.
Thanks, Jeff.
Yeah, wow. Jim, you were saying about technology. When we went out to do, like the same with Pikes Peak, we did a lot of the mapping in the UK, but for the altitude, it was all done live off the mountain. And the trouble is with the mountain, you don't get very good telephone reception anywhere, but we was actually hotspotting off a phone off my laptop back to the UK to Sam Boardman, who's mapping the car live for me on each run. So one of the major things was the turbo speed limit, because you've got no air to push against. The turbos can overspeed, and that's one of the big failures that a lot of people have.
Yeah.
And Garrett gave us a turbo speed limit of 185,000 RPM, and we hit 196.
Wow.
we were putting a dampener on it to try and control it. So on the first run we just did a little test at full throttle just to see how quick it dampened it, because the engine picks up so quick. Obviously the turbo speed. So, you know, you have to judge where you're going to put the brake to dampen the turbo speed limit. And then race day, we actually ran on 186,000 all the way up the hill.
Wow.
We got cock on. But
well,
the Americans were quite bemused about us holding a mobile phone in the laptop. I told them we were mapping it, and they said, well, I said, no, back in the UK.
There you go.
Quite a novel thing that was going on.
Yeah. I'm going to make one more call here. I'm going to reach out to another contributor, hopefully, on our webinar, is a fellow by the name of Tim Wolford, and he's with Locost USA Facebook group, and I'm just going to see if he's available to have a chat with us and see if I can bring that in.
So we did have a lot of help from the UK here, Sean and Neil, MK Sports Cars.
Top lads.
Hey, how you doing? I'm bringing you in. How are you doing?
Yeah, I am with family at a family event. I can't join this one.
All right. I'll tell you what. I'm just going to say that we're going to have you on our webinar, and I'm going to say thank you so much for tuning in briefly, but have yourself a great Christmas, and we will chat soon.
Thank you very much. Talk to you later.
All right.
Sure.
Yeah, cheers. Talk later.
All right, guys. So what do you think?
Yeah, Duncan, the guys at MK, absolutely. I mean, we've got an MK, 100%, really helpful.
What I like about them is that it's not just whether you've got an MK. They're actually trying to help the industry, which is, you know, some people are quite short-sighted. You know, the kit car industry is a small, you know, everybody needs to help everybody.
Everybody knows everybody, yeah.
Yeah, and, you know, it's very easy to put other people down. Yours is better than mine and all the rest of it. But, you know, Sean and Neil really do, you know, they're passionate about what they're doing.
Yeah. It comes across whenever you speak to them as well. And obviously they're now into their Race 200. And they've got connection with RLM and who's the guy? Yeah.
Rich.
And that race series is going really well. To be honest, I didn't think it would take off as quick as it actually has.
I think they've done it, and people can see that you're going to have a lot of fun, and you're not spending horrendous amounts of money.
Yeah,
you know,
You know, and it's every car is the same because all the ECUs are limited to the same power. That is it. It's down to the driver, not down to how much you can spend on a car.
No, Sean often says I've got to go and have a play in one Monday, so we'll see. And have a little bit of wheel-to-wheel racing.
Yeah. Folks, I'm just going to say, if you're interested in asking Duncan or Al or John or me anything, or if you got some show ideas, give us a Skype call or a messenger call, and we'll get you into the show.
I brought you something along here as well, which you might be able to see.
Hang on a sec. I'm going to bring that in.
Full screen.
Yeah. Look at that.
That was the trophy, which was for third in unlimited class.
Unlimited class. Wow.
Yeah. So we went in with the big boys.
Yeah.
And went playing with them.
and came third. I mean, brilliant. Absolutely brilliant.
Yeah. It's the cell phone.
Yeah, I mean, there was a crew of me and John Edwards from Alcon, so I had a lot of help from Alcon Brakes. But John's very passionate. He's one of the MDs there who sort of pushed me into, you know, he knew I've always talked about Pikes Peak and never really thought, you know, a tubby plasterer from Hertfordshire would actually get his...
You're not that tubby, mate.
You can't see the bottom of it.
Wow.
But yeah, whether we could get a car that we basically built at home, this one to start with. You know, a lot of help from Gary Sanders with the cage.
Well, that's what I was going to say. When you say it's a car that you basically built it at home, and you mentioned the name Gary Saunders, and it kind of takes on a new meaning, for crying out loud.
Well, I do still blame Gary for a lot of this, because I used to co-driving when I was 16 before I could drive in his off-road buggies. We used to do the all-wheel drive club. So, and being sat next to him on test drives for many years, till I was old enough to drive, and I used to join him. Had some experiences with Gary over the years.
What a great guy! I don't know him. I can't say that I really know him, but I will say that on the internet, what a level-headed, great guy. I mean, you can just talk to him; it's the real deal.
I was going to say, you've only got to mention the name Gary Saunders. You know that car's going to go well.
Look at this. Duncan could make a roller skate go fast. Amazing talent from humble beginnings. Shed racing at its best. Merry Christmas from Sean at MK.
Sean at MK. Merry Christmas, Sean.
Merry Christmas, Sean.
I've probably known Sean, I think it was probably 4 or 5 when I first met Sean. I was best mates with his brother. His older brother Neil, we was at school together. So that friendship goes back a long way as well.
A long way then, yeah.
So, but as I say, over the years, people, Black Art Design helped us with the shock absorbers. We did a lot of testing over here, sprinting, which is a place called North Weald, which is very, very bumpy. And part of that was because we knew how bumpy it was going to be at Pikes. So if the car went well at North Weald, we knew we was in.
You knew it was going to go well at Pikes Peak, yeah.
And we got some love for 7 Spot here. Facebook user is offering up Merry Christmas, Jim, and everyone and all on 7 Spot. I concur. I've always said,
Jim, that's from your missus.
Perfect. Guys, this has been absolutely fabulous. We've been on for over an hour, and I know we could go another hour, but you know what? Phones are what phones are, and we're going to run out of battery power. We've all experienced it.
Yeah.
Tell me about it. Yeah.
So how about if we put a bow on it for now? But I will say this, guys, that it's been a blast, and we're looking forward to our shows in the future. So
perhaps we'll get the car back, and you can have a wander around that when we get it, if we get it back this year, or probably next year now if it comes back. But there is talk of possibly revisiting the hill again.
Yeah, well, no worries, because if there's somebody over in the US who's holding a phone, who knows? You could be doing a live stream on your own car over there from here. You talk about the iPhone. That we got the same technology at 7 Spot. We're brilliant.
I think there was only ever one other 7 that went there in the 70s when it was that had a V8. I think it was a Caterham of some sort. Had actually done Pikes Peak before, but we're the first person to break the 10 minutes. And I think there's only 6 or 7 rookies that have actually ever broke 10 minutes. So.
I was going to say, because people, they think of it as a hill climb, but it's nothing like the hill climbs we've got in the UK.
No.
The UK ones are really short. This
I've
done
mammoth. I've done, Chelsea, Prescott, Whisky Park. That's how we started when we hill climbed.
But that view over the right-hand side can take your breath away, literally.
I deliberately ran the wheel up on the white line because I knew so I could screenshot that picture.
Well, guys, this has been fabulous. I'm going to say thanks to everybody for being with us. This is going to be it for our first show. I'm just saying that, I'm blundering through, but we got her done, and I'm so happy that that you came here to join us. But here's some questions for everybody. If you like this sort of format and you've got some ideas, like, what do you think? Drop it in the doobly-doob down below. Leave some comments. Say what you'd like to see.
If you want to join us,
Well, that's always if you'd like to have your car shown and you want to make a total spectacle of yourself, please give me a call. That's what I'm all about.
If anybody wanted to know, any spec on the cars or what, how about Pikes and entering them, more than happy. We don't really hold any secrets back. We try and help everybody, with the way we've developed the booster engine over the years and all the other bits and pieces that we've done.
I'm looking forward to that. I mean,
Definitely.
we could and hopefully will do an awful lot with you. Who knows? You could be a show host full time here.
We are starting to build something else. 6 cylinders and.
Can you tell us more details, or is it hush hush at the moment?
No. Even the wife doesn't know much about this yet. Let's get Christmas out the way.
Yeah. What, before you tell her?
Yeah.
Well, let's put a bow on it, guys. Let's say Merry Christmas to you all. I want to wish everybody at 7 Spot all the best. And I also want to say thank you to all of our administrators at 7 Spot. All the volunteer work that you've done. I always tell everybody it's not about me. This is about, about us and our cars. So let's just keep it going. But I do want to say thank you to our show hosts and all the administrators who help 7 Spot stay alive. So with that, I'm going to say thank you and have yourself a good day.
Yeah.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, all.
Merry Christmas.
Catch up New Year. Cheers, guys. Thanks, guys.
Cheers. Bye now.
Bye now.